And now the last guest, we saved the best for last, and of course for the ladies. Normally ladies come first, but in this case, in a show like this, usually the VVIP guest comes at the end. So, with further ado, Jennifer Ong. I've heard so much about her, but I finally met her in the general manager's the dinner thing in Taylor's organized about on the 29th November, and the first person I saw was her. It's like she just stood up, not physically. This lady got presence. She's the founder of HAPA. She gives out awards. Everyone is super nice to her because she gives away awards. So Jennifer Ong, you're next. I don't need to further introduce you. You are since, in fact, even in the questions, they will know a bit of your history. So, first question is about vision and evolution. So from your inception am I right? It's 1994, where you started Harper and became a multifaceted entity with five distinct brands. I'm plugging you, shamelessly plugging you, right? Under its wing. So how has your vision of Harper, how has it evolved? And what were the key milestones? I know you can give 1 hour, but keep 2 minutes to each question. And what are the key milestones? And from a publisher to now, the most comprehensive hospitality lifestyle platform. Vic- Jennifer Ong,
Thanks, Robren. It was an impressive introduction. Yeah, I know I have 2 minutes. So,
for each question, you're five.
right. So I think, from the time I started the business in 1994, it was, maybe it was called an accidental, maybe it wasn't, but it's starting off with a magazine or hospitality magazine, and then subsequently introducing many more other magazines that for other industries. So it was a pure intention of I wanting to start a publishing house together with my late husband. And, we just wanted to publish magazines to serve the various industries. And along the way, I think in 2002, that it from 94 and then it went on to 2002 when
8 years later.
yes. So I was doing a lot of magazines for hospitality, retail, you name it, fitness magazine, men's magazine, women's magazine. There was no specific industry that I didn't cover other than medical or law. But
Wow.
it came to a point where I think I had the desire to always look for gaps or look for areas where the unserved market, I call it. Yeah.
The
So
blue ocean, as some authors say, the blue ocean, not the red ocean where competition is fierce. You're the first in the industry.
yeah, I think it kind of just dawned on me one day that how come I'm in the publishing business where we write about people, we write about people like Victor, we write about people, who the chefs and all that. I mean, I didn't meet Dr. Joachim then, but so it's a magazine that we recognize people and we talk about the things they do. But it sort of dawned on me at that time and said, why wasn't there any recognition awards that serve not just the owners or the chefs or the guys like Victor in his suit, but the people from the back of the house. So what about the people who carry bags? What about the stewards? What about the people, the housekeeping and the front office? And I felt there was a need of recognizing these people. Wasn't a very popular thing, but then I was very determined to make it popular. So I then said, okay, we'll introduce awards into the market where, hoteliers and owners and operators will have no choice but to also, be part of it to honor the people from the back
The
of the.
unsung heroes.
Yes, absolutely. So, the business kind of evolved from a media side to the award side. And then it then went into the event side, because then people started coming to us and said, look, if you can organize your awards, why can you organize our events? And I thought, yeah, okay, why not? Just jump into it. Again, it was an area where I looked for an area that unserved market. So I kind of focus on events that requires event companies to ensure that the dining experience is good, the service is good, not just the front part of the event. So that market was an unserved market, and that's where we went into. And then we continued to evolve, and we went into training because there was a need for, elevating the service level, because if not, it impacts my awards, because then who are we awarding, if the service standards is not up. So then we saw there was again an issue with service excellence, maintaining what I think the gentleman here have shared. I think consistency is the key in hospitality.
Correct.
We introduced the training part to help the industry to gain the consistency in the service. Yeah. So
So
that evolution that yes,
So,
yeah.
so connecting to that, what we were saying in the first question, what challenges and triumphs leading HAPA through, those various industry transformation over 2 decades since 1994. This is your 20th year, and so what are some of the most significant challenges you face, and how did this experiences shape the direction and the ethos of HAPA Group?
Well, I mean, it was tough. It was a tough journey, Robren. It was tough. We
As a
faced.
woman, or just anybody? Was it hard also as a woman entrepreneur, or it's not even an issue with you?
Well, back then, maybe I would think it was an issue. Not, not so much now, because I've evolved. I've learned. I mean, I've been in now the business for 30 years, and
What?
I've
You started when you're 12 years old. You're so young. Anyway, I just have to do that.
yeah, so it was tough. I think at that point, not so much. I didn't look at it as a gender
Issue.
issue. Yes, but it was more the business, because we had, the ups and downs. We had so many crises. We had to, we expanded, we overexpanded, and then, we had to find our way. It's just like the entire 30 years. It's just like if somebody were, a music composer, and you compose a song, you're always figuring out the right notes, and then you get it wrong, and then you do it again, and you get it wrong, and do it again. So with the evolution, it was also tough, because we needed, every time we evolve, we needed to buy the belief again. We needed to introduce a new belief that people would believe and support us, would know that yes, this is what it is, this is what we need. So every time going out with a new idea and a new innovation, and convincing the industry to buy in, that was tough,
Mm.
and every division that we introduce, or every pillar we introduce, does generate income for us to be sustainable. So I think the part that was really one of the toughest is being sustainable and being relevant in the industry, and still being desirable. Like, people still want to do business with you. People can trust your brand. People know you're right. You're doing this for a purpose. And because like the awards, we don't sell the awards, so it's financially, you got to really make it sustainable, and that people continue to believe the awards is necessary, and the awards is something that people want. I mean, at the end of the day, how many Michelin guide is there, or Michelin star awards are there, but we create our own, and we make it into a very purposeful and very meaningful award. So has it been tough? Yeah, it's been really darn tough. And I guess now, this year is our 30th anniversary. So I think the other tough part is also what's next. What's new and what's next. Yeah, you've been in the industry for 30 years. Yeah, okay.
Been
Yeah,
there, done that.
but the industry people are always out to look for more. Like, what else is new? There's so many competitors and competition. So I think the ethos of the company, we've come to a stage where we do things with a meaning, we do things with a purpose, and we create value. And the value of the company that would then, be aligned with the people that we do business with. We can't do business with everybody. Not everyone will want to do business with us, and it's okay. So I think my entire thinking and mindset and philosophy and everything else has changed. And I know I cannot serve the entire market, and I know that I will not be, and I cannot say that, oh, everybody needs to do business with me, or everybody needs to have the awards. No, not everybody will need to, but there will be people who would require it and who would see the value and the benefit in it. And those are the people we do business with.
So you talk about the impact of awards again, and HAPA Awards have been the cornerstone of recognizing excellence in the hospitality industry. So, how do you believe these awards have influenced the standards and aspirations within the Asian hospitality sector? And what is actually your process of ensuring they, again, the word relevant and when being prestigious? The third question.
Um, well, I think in the first place, because when I first created the award, I wanted it to be of international standard. So I looked at how, what were the awards that people were looking at, that had, that had value, that had meaning. And having the concept of a mystery judge is very important. We've been doing the awards now for 21 years, 22 years coming, and we've maintained that all the judging are done based on a mystery basis. We have mystery shoppers. We used to send 3 mystery shoppers per nominee, but now we do 2. And it's very, very,
Taxing.
it's detailed. The judges have a hard time. It's a hard job. I mean, they really need to go through the criteria, and they need to do the interviews. They need to do the food tasting. So it's not at all a voting process. It's not an awards where you can buy, because we have 2 sets of judges from the industry and corporate, and now us being in collaboration with Taylor's University would also uplifts the credibility and the seriousness of us wanting to make sure that we introduce a benchmark that would be relevant and also of international standards. So how would the awards elevate the industry? Is that, well, when people participate, they participate because they want to win, but not everybody will win. Not everybody will get through to the benchmark. So they continue to strive, and they continue to do better. And if you go around Malaysia, I mean, we've got the awards also in the other countries, like in Thailand and Indonesia and Singapore. And if you go around Malaysia, for example, and you see these trophies around, and they're still there. I mean, Robren, we're not a Michelin star. We love to be a Michelin star. We're not a Michelin star.
But they display your award in their office.
I mean, you look. I mean, I was just at the restaurant just now, and I, went to check out where the trophies and where the awards, and you still see them. There must be a reason why people still display the trophies. I mean, you're talking about some of these trophies back to, in the year 2000, 2002, 2003, when we first started. And you go to Taylor's University, you still see our old trophies there. So there is a why people still display them, because it means something to them. We are recognizing people. People don't buy the awards. We recognize them because they have surpassed a particular benchmark. And we continue to do the awards. So people continue to have the desire to win the award. So they strive, and they do better, and they live up to it. So it's I think that, because we've been here for that long, and we continue to maintain the credibility, the concept, the process, it has not changed, Robren. The process hasn't changed. The only thing that have changed is the criteria that has been tightened, the standards that has been elevated. There are more strict judges that comes in, correct? So that is changed, but not the process of it. That process is still the same 21 years ago, 22 years ago. It's still the same thing. So, we want to continue to bring the awards to a higher level. And that's what we intend to do with the awards, to elevate the standards. So people who want to participate will participate for a reason. Again, not everyone is our client, not everyone will want it, but it's okay. So those who want it will then say, okay, it means something to me. Those who don't want it, well, it's okay, you don't need it, then you don't need it.
Yeah.
So That's how I look at it, in the business. For
You're very pragmatic. You're very down to earth, even with all the glamour. And this is what my feedback about you is you're very sensible and all that. Second last question is to do with AI. We talk about this in the dinner, the GM dinner, and exploring this AI collaboration, considering the increasing level of artificial intelligence in shaping industry. And is there potential for collaboration with HAPA or maybe even with our AI university? Because we're actually going to do a certified AI intelligent something to do with NLP. I'm a master practitioner in NLP, which is, if you don't know what NLP is, neuro linguistic program. Not going to go into that. It's been around. You can do 30 days of that. I did it in Hong Kong. I did my master practitioner. So we can collaborate in terms of that course itself, or even for hospitality. So how do you envision such a partnership if we do offer this hospitality and lifestyle sectors? Do you think we can collaborate? Can we
yes,
share the same stage, or I cannot play second fiddle to you, neither will you play second fiddle. Can we be in the same platform? I don't okay. I don't want to compete with you, Jennifer. You're too beautiful. You are ahead of me in hospitality, but I'm a bit ahead in AI, right? And personal growth. Can we be some partnership in this?
no, absolutely, Robin. I think we spoke about this at the GM event. And today I was just Googling on AI, right? And I was talking to my the students, my master practitioner students. And I Googled, and one of the question was what AI is used for. So then I took that screenshot and I put it up into the group chat with my neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner students. And I said, look into this and tell me, what do you see? What is the resemblance between Neuralink and between NLP and AI, right? And the last sentence that really then confirmed that the way the AI is used for and the way the mind operates is exactly the same, right? And the AI here says what AI is used for. The computer receives data already prepared or gathered through its own senses, such as camera and so on. It processes it and then it responds. And that is exactly how every human mind works, that you receive data, all of us receive data, and through our own senses, which we all have five senses, some people say six, yeah, so we all have our five senses, and there's a way every human mind processes the data that they receive in the mind, and then they respond to it. So 1 million people could be watching this, but 1 million people will process the information absolutely differently because of the way that each of the minds processes things. So that's where I then sort of say, wow, so there's so much of, and that's why I've been so passionate about NLP and about bringing NLP into education, and not just education, bringing NLP into the corporate world. Then you really save a lot of time on communication issues and conflicts, and all the bosses, nagging the staff, and all that crap could be taken out because you really work on that. So if AI is such a big thing because it's programming anyway, then what
Yes,
makes,
AI is programming. You got it right.
right? So then what makes us think the minds are not programmed? It is programmed exactly the same way as an AI. So that's why I always say this, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it for the rest of my life until somebody in the education industry wakes up. The first university that adopts NLP into its program with the lecturers, with the staff, with the students, it's going to be the top university in the world. And I promise you that.
Okay. I
Fascinating.
I believe in you. I believe in NLP. Oops, did we lose Did we lose the audio?
We didn't.
Okay, continue. Continue.
So that's why, that's why I said that when you spoke to me about it, and I immediately said, yes, oh, absolutely, there is a need for that. Imagine the same thing applies in a university context, in a hotel context. Imagine a hotel that adopts AI and adopts NLP. That hotel will be the top hotel with the least staff, with the least problem. The GMs can sleep and go on holidays because it is a programming, and that's what it is. So if people can look into AI, so it's such a big thing, people blow it off and invest in it without, I can tell you, maybe more than 50% of us don't even know what AI really means and how AI really works. But because it's such a big thing in the market that people want to talk about it and they want to have it, it's the same thing about NLP. So that's why having AI and NLP introduced as a program for the corporate world, for the hospitality industry, for the education, whatever you call it, is definitely the right way. It's the right way. It should have been the way to go ahead,
Jennifer, I'm not only echo and second that, I actually have crystallized I'm not young, right? I got my 40 years of since 1981, whatever, 43, 2 years experience. I have my own incredible principles and I will share with you and we will develop something together. Can we do that? Obviously, we can talk, you and I can forget the whole world. We can talk about this forever. I definitely want to do a separate show with you, a separate thing, because we're running past time as I suspected. That's why I put you last. But never mind, we're not an hour show. So we still got one last question for you. Okay. Don't worry. I'm the host. I can do anything I want. So the last question is really about the future of hospitality and F&B. So with the rapid changes in consumer behavior and technological advances, what trends do you foresee? Oh, actually, I got 6 questions for you. Oh my God. So any people, anyway, we will cut and slice. So we got 2 more questions. I just realized that so what trends do you foresee that will dominate hospitality and F&B in the next decade, the next 10 years? And how is HAPA positioning itself to lead, to support these shifts? Second last question.
Yeah, you talk about trends, right? It's just trends are just so personal. It's all created and it's all the hype. And these trends, of course, we know the hype comes, the hype goes. Honestly, is there really a trend? Or is it just a creation of a trend that people, label it as? So I think F&B, whether it's hospitality and F&B, I think hospitality in terms of hotels, if hotels can really focus on service, the experience, whatever it is, the whole experience, whether the guest is coming in just for a cup of tea or coming in to stay or coming in to have dinner or coming in to do an event, doesn't matter. If they can just put their resources and their focus into just guest experience, just imagine every single guest that walks in is your best friend, is your parents or whoever it may be, that you want to be able to make sure they have the greatest experience, right? And everyone treats everybody like as if, we're all living in the same house. We just want to create that experience for everyone. I think if hospitality or tourism or even retail business, right? People walking into a shoe shop or walking into a clothes shop or to a handbag shop, whatever it may be, and you just focus on getting it right. That's it. Don't worry about the rest, because when you get the guest experience right, everything else falls into play. That's really, is that simple, but yet we're dealing with people, correct, Victor? So how do you get the people to perform at that level where they really give service from the heart? Well, in the first place, you need to understand how people's minds work. If you don't know how their minds work, they're not going to give you the best service. So I think, even in F&B, you can talk about, Spanish food and Japanese food and whatever, right? How many times of Japanese food can you eat in a day, in a week? How many rounds of Spanish food? People don't go to restaurant because it's a trend. People go to restaurant because, this is a restaurant that's talked about. Food is good, service is great. And then you go on and you go more and more and more. So I think if you ask me what's the trend in F&B and hospitality, I would just tell you, just focus on getting the service right. Just focus on getting the experience right. Because you can have the best chef and the best food, but your service sucks. It's
Okay.
not experience. Yeah.
Fantastic. Last question is, you are definitely a role model, uh, not just gender, women, just a person. You incredible energy, you're infectious, you're contagious, more contagious than COVID-19. Never mind. So, what's your advice to aspiring entrepreneurs drawing from your extensive experience and building and evolving? You're like Madonna, you're keeping changing and your whole thing. And what advice would you give this aspiring entrepreneurs looking to leave their mark in the hospitality, so competitive and lifestyle industry? So competitive in Asia, right? So your advice, your role model, as a role model.
Interesting. I was just talking about it at dinner. I think I think one of the areas that entrepreneurs, uh, in my opinion, should really look into is question yourself in terms of your belief. Whatever business you want to do, whatever it is you want to create, you always have to ask yourself on a scale of 0 to 100, how much do you personally believe in that yourself? Even if somebody says, oh, I believe in it 99%, don't do it. Because anything less than 100% is a self-sabotage.
Wow.
If you say 99.99%, don't do it. Because
Wow.
I anything that's less than 100% is a self-sabotage. Because if you have anything that's less than 100%, you are giving yourself room for someone to come in and destroy your dream. Because that someone will say, oh, it wouldn't work. Oh, you know what? They are not going to take your awards. Oh, you know what? They're not going to buy your program. Oh, you know what? They're not going to do that. Oh, you're opening a hotel. There are too many hotels. The problem with human beings is we don't know how to encourage other people's dreams. We always find ways to tell people how things will not work because of our own past experience that we always have past experiences that we fail or things that don't work for us. And then, without asking people permission, we are so we're so generous in sharing our past experience of things that don't work and share with people. Guess what? You know what? It didn't work for me, so it wouldn't work for you. And again, because that's why I go on this basis of, you must know how your mind works. Because if you don't, then you're going to be absorbing all these
Negativity.
generous sharing from other people, and then you suddenly wear that onto yourself and made it into your own belief system. So I think in business, you really need to know if you're not 100% certain, there is no certainty. There's no 100% certainty in the belief that you have with whatever you're doing. Either fix it, go find a way to set your belief to 100%, or just don't do it. Yeah.
Wow. What 30 yours is 30 minutes already, and I will not
I'm
fault you. Yeah, it's 30 minutes. I retiming it, and I purposely did not want to interrupt you. We definitely, Jennifer, we need a separate show for you. Whatever 1, 2 hours for you. And I find that you're an incredible philosopher. You're like an incredible thinker. You're ahead of time. You're a trendsetter. You are vivacious. You're so passionate. It rubs off on you. We need more people like you. There's so few like you that can put fire in the belly in an old guy like me, right? So you speak your truth. You walk your talk. I'm almost think you're like a great seafood and philosopher. So I would love to work with you in any capacity, you name it. I just want to work with you. So for me, it's yun fan, right? In Chinese, we call it the chemistry. So me, it's chemistry is everything. So you can be the most famous guy, but I don't want to work with you. I don't want to work with Donald Trump, Jennifer, you're always charming. You're the first guy, person I saw in the GM thing, beside Professor Nethy. And what? How do you pronounce the name?
Right, Professor Nithya.
Nithya, and you, the first two, of course, Victor as well. And you just shine out. You are a shining star. You are a shooting star. You're incredible. So you are a rare diamond, and you're not a diamond in the rough. You are so smooth.
Thank you,
Can
Robert.
I be your PR agent? Anyway, thanks, guys.
Go back and do a proposal to have an AI program
Let's
of
do that.
and then you just program everything, Dr. Joe.
Let's do that. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Prof.